Hi and welcome to my first weekly environmental roundup of 2021. I'm predicting an exciting year this year in environmental markets as more and more companies and politicians are talking about sustainability. The first week in February is usually a volatile one in the market as forward LGC contracts are delivered and we get closer to that 14th of February surrender date. And last week was no exception. Spot STCs were up $1.05, closing at $38.40, and the spot LGCs were down $5 to $35. They were at $40 the previous week, but as the Cal 20 contracts were delivered, we saw an excess supply in the market which pushed the price down. They did bounce back up to $38 today, and there's a good chance we'll see the market range between $35 and $40 over those last couple of trading days before the 2020 surrender. The Cal 21 LGCs were up $1 to $35.50. The Cal 22s were flat at $26.75. The Cal 23s were up 50 cents to $20. The Cal 24s were up 15 cents to $10. The VIX had a massive week last week. They reached a high of $50. They were overall they were down 40 cents to $48.50, but they did reach that high, as I mentioned, $50. The ESCs were up $2, closing at $31.50. So we saw some strong buying there as well. The ACCUs were up 60 cents to $17.50, and we also saw them trade today at $17.75. Now that's an all-time high, and I put that down to a couple of things. We're getting closer to the safeguard surrender date of the 28th of February. Now the safeguard mechanism, for those not familiar with it, is a requirement for the country's top emitters to purchase ACCUs to offset any CO2 equivalent that they emit over their allocated baselines. Now in addition to that, we saw Scott Morrison come out and say that our goal is to reach net zero emissions as soon as possible, and preferably by 2050. This isn't exactly what we want to hear, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, and in my mind, a good reason to be buying ACCUs. Now across the pond, the Climate Change Commission in New Zealand handed down their draft report to to the government. This report made some strong recommendations which resulted in NZU spiking and reaching an all-time high of $39.60. This was a $1 increase from the week before. So that's a strong week in both carbon markets there at the beginning of the year here. Now last week, Angus Taylor, Australia's Energy Minister, noted in Parliament that Australia now has the highest amount of solar capacity in the world. That achievement includes more than a quarter of Australian households choosing to have solar systems installed on their roofs. In addition to this, the Clean Energy Regulator estimated that a record-breaking 7 gigawatts of new renewable energy capacity was installed during 2020. Now to put this in perspective, Australia's largest power station, Loy Yang, has a capacity of 3.3 gigawatts, which is less than half of all those renewable capacity installations last year. So 7 gigawatts of new renewable capacity versus 3.3 gigawatts for Australia's largest power station. Now, I think that's an amazing achievement out there. Now that's all from me today. I hope you have a great week and a fantastic 2021.